The other night, I found myself scrolling through old photos on my phone. Have you ever done this? Not meaning to, really. I mean, you know how it goes. You're looking for that one specific photo, and then suddenly you are 3 years deep in memory. But there was this one photo that stopped me in my tracks. It wasn't anything special, just a casual snapshot of my dad reading to one of my kids. In ordinary moments, I probably didn't think twice about when I took it. But sitting there in the quiet of my living room, looking at that picture, I felt this wave of emotion that it almost doesn't have words, right? It takes the wind out of you. You feel your heart just drop to your stomach. Because now those ordinary moments, they're not possible anymore. He's been gone for a number of years, and suddenly I find myself missing these things I didn't even realize that I had taken for granted. It's not something I actually talk about very much at all, to be honest. But the way that he'd do all the little voices when he would read, how he'd always say, just one more page, but never actually stop at just one. But it's funny how nostalgia works like that. Sometimes it's gentle, it's a warm reminder of good times. But sometimes it hits you like a tidal wave, leaving you wondering why a simple memory can feel like a comfort and also a punch in the gut at the same time. So today we're talking about what to do when nostalgia pulls us down the rabbit hole. Not just the sweet memories, but the complicated feelings that come with it. How do we sit with these emotions without getting lost in them? I'm Chad Lawson, and let's calm it down in 3, 2, 1. Here's something nobody really talks about. Nostalgia isn't always about missing the good times. Did you hear that? Nostalgia is not always about missing the good times. Sometimes it's about missing who we were in those moments. Sometimes it's about grieving changes that we weren't ready for. And sometimes, if we're really honest with ourselves, it's about trying to escape whatever we're dealing with in the present moment. Let that sit there for a second. But think about it. When was the last time you got nostalgic? When everything in your life was going great? It's usually when we're stressed or lonely or feeling lost that our minds start playing these greatest hit compilations of our past. And that's actually normal. Our brains are trying to help us cope. When life feels uncertain, those memories of times when we felt safe and happy, they become like emotional comfort food. The problem isn't in having these feelings. That's not the problem at all. It's in how we handle them. You see, nostalgia can be tricky. It's like having a best friend who means really well, but doesn't always give the best advice. We all have that person in our life. It whispers things like, everything was better then, or you'll never be that happy again. And if we're not careful, we can actually start believing those stories. So what do we do when we find ourselves caught in nostalgia's current? How do we honor these feelings without drowning in them? Well, first, when nostalgia hits, don't fight it. I know, but don't follow it blindly either. Get curious about what's really going on. Are you actually missing that specific time, or are you missing how you felt then? Did you feel safe? Did you feel loved? Were you free of responsibility? But understanding what you're really longing for, that's the first step to addressing nostalgia. And second, acknowledge the grief that often comes with nostalgia. Don't ignore it. Because let's be honest, even happy memories can hurt sometimes. They remind us that things change, that people leave, that moments pass. And it's okay to feel sad about that. It's okay to wish you could go back just for a minute and experience something one more time. But here's the thing: grief and gratitude, they can coexist. You can miss something desperately and still be thankful that you had it at all. That photo of my dad reading to my son, it aches to look at. But I'm so grateful someone thought to capture that ordinary moment that became extraordinary in hindsight. So acknowledge the grief, but realize that gratitude can be right there with it. And then third, use nostalgia as a compass, not a map. It's a big difference, right? Instead of trying to recreate the past, let it point you toward what you need in the present. Missing the deep conversations you used to have with friends, well, that's your heart telling you that it's time to prioritize connection. If you're longing for that creativity you had as a kid, maybe it's time to give yourself permission to play again. I tried this recently when I caught myself missing the simple joy of playing piano just for fun, which I never get to do. My hours are so slim to begin with that even at the piano, it's like, no, I must focus and get this and do this. And so many times I say, I just want to play the piano. And so instead of just feeling sad about how things have changed, I'm trying to block out an evening just to play whatever I want. It's still difficult, let's be honest, but no agenda, no recording, no pressure, no filming, no social media creation of content. Just me and the piano, like it used to be. Just me struggling to get through Bach or Beethoven. It didn't turn back the time, right? My doing this, it doesn't bring it all back, but it reminds me that those feelings of pure joy, they're still there. They're still there, just in different ways and new ways. Because here's what I've learned about nostalgia. Are you ready? It's not really about the past at all. I'm going to say that again, because for some of you, that's hard. Nostalgia is not really about the past. It's about learning to carry forward the things that matter most to us. Those memories that tug at our hearts, they're showing us what's important to us, what we need, what makes us feel alive. Nostalgia is not about the past. So the next time nostalgia sweeps you away, be gentle with yourself. Let yourself feel whatever comes up. Cry if you need to. Laugh at the old memories, right? Wish things could be different. But then when you're ready, ask yourself, how can these feelings move me forward? What is this longing trying to teach me about what I need right now? Because while we can't step back in time, we can use these emotions as building blocks for a present that the future us might look back on with some really tender feeling. So while we can't go back in time, we can use these feelings to build a present that our future selves might look back on with the same warmth. I want to end with this. It's okay to visit the past. It is. Just remember to come back to the now, because that's where your next favorite memory is waiting to be made. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for living. And until next time, be kind to your mind and join me again as we calm it down. To find more episodes of Calm It Down, see where I may be appearing in your area, or just simply want to know where to send me some chocolate chip cookies, visit calmitdownpodcast.com. Headliner.app. This podcast was written and produced by yours truly, Chad Lawson, composer, pianist, and nationally recognized sweet tooth. The views, expressions, and techniques in this episode are of my personal opinion and not intended, nor should they, serve as a substitute for medical advice or diagnosis rendered to you by your individual doctor or other healthcare provider. Only a licensed physician should evaluate your situation, provide a diagnosis, or render other medical advice to you, and you should only act upon the advice of this physician. Now, I'm an extreme empath by nature, but my profession is that of a composer and pianist, not a licensed therapist or physician. I hear from thousands of listeners how my music has helped them through various stages of emotional needs, and I simply want to offer this in future podcast episodes to aid those needs. So to find a list of licensed professionals in your area, please visit calmitdownpodcast.com. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review, or better yet, share it with a friend. While it takes less than 60 seconds to do, its impact will last for years to come, as every little bit helps in growing the awareness and the importance of mental and emotional health. Thank you for listening. Thank you for living. And until next time, be kind to your mind and join me again as we calm it down.